Peace, love, and light. So this is the launch of Soul Talk, and this is my preparation for it. So I'm here in my office. I'm about to put on. Hmm, it feels so good in here. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited about this coming to fruition. Um, I got these awareness cards that I've been using quite often in my sessions, and I found that they're working so well. But here's why I'm saying that. I'm saying that because they're working well because I'm able to use them to open conversation and open the mind. It sort of gives you something to focus on as we take um, the sessions a little further. So I have my tea and it's 6:54 and I'm waiting until 7. So my hope is that I have several people come in so that I can have conversation and it makes it more exciting. I'm on my website right now, In My Mother's Womb, Sacred Medicines, and I'm just enjoying the time waiting. Um, Again, my intention is that this session is, or this soul talk, I'm so accustomed saying session with my clients, but that this soul talk is fulfilling and it's moving and it's stimulating. And so I'm pretty ready for this. I'm hyped. Okay, I'm back on. So I have my, like I said, I'm hoping that when this is regularly running, that, we can just have like just natural conversation, getting together, natural conversation, getting together, community, building, talking about stuff, life. This is for my sapient women. I put that word on my, mm, I put that word on my website, and it's to encourage those of you who don't know what it is or the meaning of it to do a little bit of soul searching and use your resources and see what sapient means. Are you a sapient woman? Mm-hmm. So my even though my philosophy when I'm doing lives and doing any type of conference, I always say, let's break it down. Let's leave the ego outside. So I don't want you to come in using, elaborate language so that no one else really understands. They need a dictionary. I ask that you break it down so that everyone is on the same page when you speak sacred medicine. So 6:56. 6:56. And so yeah, so when you break sacred medicine down, you don't give like the whole thing. You have to break it down in pieces so that everyone understands what it is you're talking about and they can take the medicine. So sometimes I have to work on that because sometimes, that education thing gets, I don't want to say get in the way, but it gets to the point where you can't find another word to break it down. And and that can be a little tricky because you're so accustomed speaking on this certain level with the ego intact that you have a hard time being natural. Your your primary, your core, your authentic self. So when you come to session with me, I ask you to look at that. And so sometimes I often say, what does that mean? What is it you're really trying to say to me right now? And just so that you can start re-remembering. So, re-remembering, retraining, and rewriting narratives are very, very important because it changes the world that we're currently living in. So if you're saddened or depressed or have any issues like that, that's a beautiful space to start working in. So it's 6:58. I'm not accustomed wearing my glasses. Truly, I'm not accustomed to wearing my glasses in front of the computer. It hinders me. I didn't really, no, I didn't think that I really needed glasses, but I had to re-examine that. So when I went to, again, ego. So when I went to the optometrist, and they said, read something, and I'm holding it here. And she says, well, and I'm saying, I can read it. And she says, yes, you can, but I'm looking at the distance that you're holding the card to your eyes. So, yeah, I said, oh, okay. So I'm having this conversation and no one is on yet because it's now 6:59. So hopefully it's coming up. So some of these things I'm probably going to have to reword in another way and then um, restate. Okay, so I have to, so that it doesn't seem as though I'm repeating the same thing over and over again. All right, so I've shuffled these cards several times, and I'm going to put them down. Take a breath, and I'm starting. So I'm hoping that there isn't a problem and no one can get in, but that may be just my thing, just me having this conversation with myself, with my ego. So 7 o'clock, no one's here yet. And I'm checking my website one more time. To make sure no messages were sent. Nothing was sent. So I'm going to start. And so the replay will be available for a short period of time. Okay. So I have my cards, and the card that I'm going to be talking about today is what if what if it isn't true? That's the question. So what if it isn't true? Okay. So what does that mean? So let's start thinking about when we have these talks in our mind about what it is that's going on in our head, why we cannot accomplish certain things. And depending on your history, your narrative is different. So someone may have a narrative that says, come on, you can accomplish this. You have the education, you are intelligent, you've been working at this, you know this, you can accomplish this. And so even though it may not uh, unfold in front of the person the way they thought it should, it's still progress, and they're motivating themselves, and um and they're moving ahead. So what if it isn't true for them would be, you know, oh man, this is too hard for me. But they have the foundation to motivate themselves and propel them forward. So what if it isn't true is, yeah, I know I have the knowledge to stand in my authenticity and complete this task. So that's what I'm going to do. For someone else, the narrative that they're playing may be, I am not good enough for this position. This is why I'm feeling this way. I what am I doing? I'm stupid. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the experience. I'm going to fail. So why is it that I'm doing this? What if it isn't true for that person is you're having this narrative because it's somewhere deep in your history. What if it isn't true what you're saying to yourself? What if you tap in and find that grounding and really look at what you have accomplished this far, and deep knowing that who you are as a person, that you can grasp this concept and do this task. So, what if it isn't true what you're telling yourself? What if you are greatness standing there waiting for you, that human form, to just propel yourself forward, to quieten the ego so you can step into your greatness? So, that what if it isn't true can mean so many things. Sometimes we'll say we're going to exercise, or we're changing our diet, or we won't be so hard on ourselves. We'll start giving ourselves a little bit of self love. And along the way, we start falling back. We start looking at other people to support us and to love us deeply. If they are not doing so, then we become very angry with them and ourselves because they can't give us what we need. But how are they going to give us what we need if we don't know what we need? So, all those things that you're saying to yourself isn't really true, because we come from that greatness. We come from that greatness that when we sit outside and we're with our family and friends and we look up and we see the stars and we say, oh my God, isn't that beautiful? Or we see an animal, a lot of us are animal lovers. And so we have pets in our home, and we have all other, dogs, cats, and we can see the beauty in them. We really love them deeply. So that kind of awareness and that kind of love is where this is coming from, where this yearning for this affection, because we were created from love, so much so that there are only really two emotions, right? Love and fear. And so, this yearning for love outside of who we are, that is a different kind of authentic, deep-rooted love for ourselves, because we think that the other person, the other thing, the other situation, the other experience will fill that void within us. But what happens? It doesn't. What happens is that because it's not filling that void, we continuously search for love. We search for love from the outside instead of doing that work on the inside, instead of going in and saying, you know, what is it I need today? What will comfort me and make me whole? What is it I need to do with myself that will satisfy those feelings, instead of what can I get that will make me happy? What can I purchase? Who can I turn to love me and make me feel good about myself? Who who can I turn to give information about me so that they can tell me who I am? What if it isn't true? What if all you had to do is remember where you came from that greatness, from that space of peace and love? What if all you had to do is to go in, remember, and then retrain the mind, meaning all those old narratives that you played about not being worthy of, and not being pretty enough, and not loving your body because it has gained some weight after you've had babies, or it has gained weight, or it has always been that size, but you never loved you. So what if all those narratives of low energy and shame, blame, suffering, what if all of that wasn't true? What if all you had to do was turn in, remember, retrain your mind, and rewrite the narratives? Remembering, retraining, and rewriting the narratives. What if all this time we spent with the ego, allowing it to run our lives and tell us false stories, and we create the narratives which created the world that we have created for ourselves? What if we can transform that energy, because it's all energy, into our highest good, broken down into our simplest form? We are energy, everything, just energy moving. So we know energy transforms. Energy here also means thought, because we're here. This table is here. This laptop, this cup is here. All of this is energy transformed. Thought into end result. So what if we can do the same thing? Why wouldn't we be able to do the same thing with sicknesses, um, changing the way we perceive the world around us, changing the way we thought about someone else or a situation that is unfolding? What if we transform that energy into our highest good and use it to manifest great things? Well, The only way we can do that is if we start working this. We start working on ourselves, start loving ourselves, start seeing the value that we bring to ourselves as well as others. What if this whole thing that we've been thinking about, how we've been how we've been working from, how we've been behaving, how what we've been doing, thinking, saying, what if all of that really wasn't true? That wasn't our authentic self, and that's not who we really are. What if we can transform and do these great things? Wouldn't that be something? So, this card, this is what it speaks to in life. What if this world that you are living in isn't true? And all you have to do is shift the thought, change the energy, and manifest. That will shift your world. So, the world that you're living in right now wouldn't be the same, right? What it would do is show you, it would rewrite narratives within you so that you can see what you're capable of doing, right? So you'll be able to shift those thoughts and create, manifest great things. So it would mean then, once you are confident that you can do that, then you'll be able to shift the thoughts to make your emotional self, your energetic self, and your cellular self well. So, which means then you'll be able to heal. Isn't that fabulous? So, let's look a little further into this card. So, it says on the back of it, the thing you are telling yourself right now, the concrete reasons why you think you don't belong, you can't do it, you won't get there, you are not enough, or it's not for you. What if it wasn't true? That would change your whole world. But our issue is that we have to see something tangible before we could even begin to believe. But that's not how the universe works. So that's why a lot of us, we're not manifesting, because we're looking to achieve, achieve, achieve. We have to have something tangible in order for us to believe on an energetic and cellular level. And in order for manifestation to happen, it has to happen. We have to believe with every fiber in our body that this is possible. So if you really don't believe, then you may change something superficially, but you're not changing anything on that deep level. So that manifestation, that transformation, that sacred transformation and sacred love won't happen. The reason I use the word sacred is because it's coming from this place of greatness where the universe resides. All of this is actually the universe in motion, energy. So, the soul action then from today until next Wednesday is, it's time for a soul chat. We're having one now. Close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, and ask the wise one within you. sapient women, what if it wasn't true? What else might be possible? So here's the thing. It's saying, it's saying, what if it isn't true? What else might be possible? So not only have you have to believe on this deep level, you have to know that there's something else better. So you see where that low self-esteem, low self-worth, that can be a part of it. Why? Because we are pure potentiality. Law number one in the seven spiritual laws of success. We are pure potentiality, and that means we're energy of greatness, and we can change, we can manifest, so we can do great things. But we have to believe on a cellular and an energetic level that this is possible. I believe with every core fiber of my body, my being, that I am capable of transformation. Why? Because I am greatness. I am energy. I am pure potentiality in motion. So, in order for you to see what else is possible and to have that manifest, you have to remove the old narrative that you're thinking about, right? You have to remove that. So, that's where the remembering. You also have to retrain. You have to retrain. You have to stand and believe that this is possible. I know can happen. I know it because of who I am, right? So that is the retraining, and the rewriting is knowing that this can happen, and it will, because I can do something greater. So that's the rewriting of the narrative. And so with the four agreements, which is, the hold on, let me make sure I do it in order, because hold on, I never do it in order. And every time I do it, someone says, but it doesn't have to go in order. When you think that it has to be in order, it's because that's that ego thing kicking in again, right? Like it has to be, it's almost like, oh, I have OCD. That's that ego thing. Got to do this right. Got to do it right. Got to do it over and over again. Okay, so I'm not. Hold on. I'm not comparing people who have OCD to this ego thing, and that's a different conversation. I'm not having that right now. Okay, so the first agreement is being impeccable with your word. Here's how it's coming into play. I am impeccable with my word. I believe and I know that this will work. And in order for it to work, I have to be committed and have an intention. Standing in my impeccability with my word, having the practice every day, the commitment that it will come to manifestation. But I have to be proactive in my life. I have to be connected. I have to do those things that I need to do so that I can stay on the same path. Remember, remembering, retraining, and rewriting narratives. So, in order for you to rewrite a narrative, you have to believe it's true. That's with the affirmations. If we're doing affirmations over and over and we really don't believe affirmations will work, it causes even more chaos in your mind because you don't believe. So there's steps before that, okay? So being impeccable with your word, I will show up every day for myself, standing in my greatness and standing in my commitment to myself, my intention, okay? So I'm impeccable with my word. And so as you do these things, people, they look at you and they see that you're changing and you're becoming something that they are not familiar with. So what they do is they look at you with respect, but then after a while they don't believe it. Oh man, your son is doing this thing over and over, and she continues to do it. She's not going to stick with it. Why are they saying this? They're saying it because you weren't showing up for yourself before. You weren't believing in yourself before. So how's someone else going to believe in you? You were showing them how to treat you. We teach people how to treat us. So now that we're saying, okay, so this is what we're going to do, they, of course they're saying like, this is one of those things again, she on this thing, she'll get past it. So they don't believe it, and they treat you in a certain way. They treat you like they don't believe what you're saying you're doing is going to really manifest anything, because you normally don't stand in your authenticity at all. You say one thing and then may do it for a couple of moments, and then you go back to doing what you were doing before. Line pub. So, so they're not expecting anything different from you either, right? So you have to be impeccable with your word, standing in your authenticity, your truth, and saying what you mean, mm, because your word is bond. That's the only thing we have, right? Is our word. But here's the other thing. You can't take it personally. Just because they don't believe in what you're doing, it doesn't mean that you should stop the process. It doesn't mean that you should stop your progress. It doesn't mean that you should step out of yourself, who you are manifesting, who has been sitting, waiting for you to wake up. It doesn't mean that you have to stop that. Don't take what they're saying personally. This is about you. This is your journey. So you stand in your authenticity and you do you. You do you. So the other thing that we do, because we judge and we just love to judge other people so well, that don't make assumptions. Don't assume that they're doing the same thing to you. And so therefore you become whatever and revert back, or you step outside of who you're becoming. Because when we're manifesting and doing great things, it's done with sacredness. So we're not speaking loud, we're not making a big show, we're not telling everybody this is what I'm doing. It's nothing like that. It's happening in here. So all of a sudden you start to find that you're more inward. You're not speaking loudly. You're not always up front and being the first one and do it. No, sacredness is not like that. Not when you're in transformation. You have to start to understand what's happening and be a part of it. So you can't be outside of yourself and understand this transformation that's happening. So sacredness requires you to go in stillness. It requires you to sit. It requires you to experience the experience. That's why many times when you're sitting in meditation and you will hear your instructor, I know I do it with my students, I will say to them, sit in silence, and even if you feel something is pinching you or you need to scratch your nose, don't do it. Take a breath in, exhale, and refocus. That is your mind wanting to take you away from what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with it. That's meditation. Your mind is doing what It was made to do what it was created to do. That's meditation. Meditation is the recognizing, the awareness that you have drifted, and it's bringing it back into alignment, that unity, that yoga. Okay? So don't make assumptions. That's where we were. Don't make assumptions. You do you. Do you. And the last of the four agreements is always do your best. So here's a tricky thing. Your ego can make you think that you're doing your best, and in all actuality, you're not really doing your best. Okay, so your ego can say, oh, yeah, you're planning, you get up in the morning, you give yourself your 10 breaths, you going along your day, your awareness is coming, you're following the formula, you're doing all the things. The formula is a course that I have on my website in my mother's womb sacred medicines.com, and it teaches you the remembering, the retraining, and rewriting of narratives, right? So that's the formula. It has different keys that allows you to tap in and open doors and so on and so forth. It's a 3-month course, and we'll talk about that another time. So this formula, you find your day is going on well, and all of a sudden a situation happens, and instead of experiencing the situation, you become reactive. You react to the situation, not respond. Remember, responsibility is the ability to respond rather than react. But you find yourself reacting to the situation. And so you say, you remember, the awareness comes in, and you remember, oh, let me practice my keys. And the ego says, you can't practice your keys right now. Are you kidding me? You need to do this right away. You can't afford to allow this to happen, because a responsible person will make sure it's done in right away and in a certain way. And you're like, well, that makes sense. Yeah. And you go ahead and you react to the situation. Ding, ego has you. Okay, gotcha. Got you. So, so when the ego taps in and it pulls you away, you may go for a little while, and then you say, wait a minute, let me take my breath right now. And you tap in. What I'm thinking and what I'm about to do, is it serving my highest good? Is it making the situation better, or is it causing more harm? Am I self-harming? What is it am I doing right now? Do I need to stop and experience what's happening? Or do I need to do something right away? Usually, that stopping and experiencing the situation is all you need to do. And all of a sudden, downloads start happening. Well, you don't have to react this way. You can respond this way. Here's what you can say. You can give sacred medicine, and then the ego chimes in. Sacred medicine. This person disrespecting you. Are you kidding me? So here's the tricky part. So here's where people now say to me. Well, I'll say this first. So here's what people usually say. Nah, Mizana, that's passive. And I'm not a passive person. So is it passive to take care of yourself before you respond to a situation? We tend to use fight or flight, even though the situation doesn't require it. All this is asking you to do is think about what it is that is going to serve your highest good, and what it is that could possibly stabilize a situation or even a thought. Remember, thought's energy. Remember, we can transform. Remember that our history, our domestication is what we use to create this world that we're living in. And this world that we're living in is quite chaotic. So you're looking to change. So remember all of this. So that's why you take the breath, you stand in your greatness, and you say, what is this situation requiring me to do right now? So, because the ego is tricky, you have to always, always one up it, right? You always have to make sure, because it will get you. But when it happens, I have to smile. It's like, oh, coming, okay, good. Next time I'll see it coming. So always do your best. Your best is doing 100% of what you can at that moment. So your 100% may be only 30% when you're on, when you get up in the morning, you're practicing, you're feeling good, you're eating well, you're exercising, everything is good, you're balanced, you're in balance, you're in the flow with the universe. And so that 100% is top notch. And then there are days that you get up and you're like, okay, I got to do my 10 breaths. And then you're saying, okay, let me do 5. And you do 5. And then you say, I'll do one more. I'll push myself and I'll do one more. And you do that one more and it's connected to the universe. And then you go in and you say, you know what, I don't feel like doing yoga. I don't feel like stretching. I don't feel like exercising. And you say, okay, you know what? You may not feel like exercising right now, but how about we just do a couple of stretches and we'll revisit it again later today, this afternoon. Maybe you can do, maybe hold a plank for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Maybe you can, do some uttanasanas, yoga poses. Just hold them for a few breaths. And then the afternoon comes and you do it, but you're not as high energy as you were a few days or the day before, or it may have been a few hours ago. But you do the best that you can do in that moment. So this, what if it isn't true then, gives you this journal prompt. And the journal prompt is, what lie do I need to let go of? What lie do I need to let go of to reach my soul's truth? What lie do I need to let go of to reach my soul's truth? Well, you look at that, and of course, everyone's response, everyone's journal entry is going to be different. But here's a way you can look at it. What is it that you wanted to accomplish for the longest time and you haven't? And you haven't because of what it is you're saying to yourself. What if you let that lie go? Whatever it is you're saying to yourself, what if you let that lie go? What will you be able to accomplish? That's your journal entry. And so, you can really have a manual journal. You can journal online if you want to. You may be looking at this and saying, you know what, I don't like journaling, so I'm not doing that. But allow the thought to create the energy in your mind and think about it. What lie can I let go of to reach my soul's truth? So, in doing that, you'll start to create that energy and think about making changes in your life. Okay? So, peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. No, I don't think I want to say peace, love, and light yet. I still have a few more minutes, right? This is Soul Talk, so let's talk. Um, I don't know if this is being seen on Facebook because, I love technology, but I'm not really 100%. Okay. So it may be that I'm being seen. I think I was supposed to click this, right? I think so. Anyway, I'm going to click it. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Well, it's saying preparing the stream. So I don't know if it really is. Maybe I was supposed to. Listen, this is the pilot. Think about this as the pilot, right? And if it's the pilot, this is the first. No, see, Facebook is asking me to do too many things right now. So maybe next time I'll do it this way. This time I'll just post. I'll post it. And you know me, it's always a journey, right? Every time I get on these video things, I'm like, okay, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. So that's okay. Um, so let me just give you some information since I have a few more minutes with you. So this is Soul Talk. This is Soul Talk. This is about me having conversation with you, stimulating thought, because I teach a lot of things, and I want you to understand how your mind and your body connection work, and what you're capable of doing, the greatness you're capable of doing, you're capable of manifesting. Okay, so because of our domestication, sometimes information that I'm giving kind of doesn't really make sense. You're like, nah, not that one, Mizana. I'm not. But it's not that it's so far fetched what I'm saying. It is that your domestication stops the process, stops you from allowing the process to happen, trusting the process. So Soul Talk and the Facebook mini series and things like that I do, if you think of everything broken down is energy, thought is energy as well. So what it does is those little mini sessions stimulate thought and gives you something to think about. If it resonates with what you've an experience you've been through or you're going through, then you're going to create the thought around it. At that time, I invite you to connect with me and even, look at some of my courses and see how it can fit in your life. Because once you get this thing, it is just mind blowing. Those neural pathways are no joke. When we look at how we have our conditioned self have been domesticated to think and how we play this role out over and over again. When you become woke, it's unbelievable what you can do. So, and many of us are still sleeping. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying, if if you know that you've been living a certain way and it hasn't served your highest good, and you continue to do it, even though you are given information that can transform through sacredness, okay? You know that can happen, and you still use the energy to weigh you down and not serve your highest good. You're not being responsible in your life. You're not responding in your life, you're reacting, right? So think about ways of becoming awakened. Some of us, okay, we're late bloomers. So we're in the 60s and the 70s and it's happening. That's a beautiful thing because your world changes and you see your world differently and your perception changes about things and people and situations. So you're able to live your best life. Are you kidding? That is fantastic. No matter how long you have, just to be able to heal from that stuff and to live your best life, that's great. So know that this is where it's coming from. It's coming from the space of sacred medicine. It's coming from a space where I say, I want to to guide you on this journey so that your choices will be wellness. So I have a forgiveness course. Um, I have Aging Gracefully course that starts actually January the 11th. I have a Sapient Woman Tantra course that is fabulous for anyone who I have instructed through Tantra, Sacred Love. That course is fabulous, and so it doesn't matter. Again, it's for sapient women. And so I talk to women my age, I'm 60, and we're looking for transformation. It doesn't mean if you're younger that you cannot benefit from it. Not at all. It's just that my customer looks like me because it's easy for me to develop a course for someone when I have the image in my mind, right? And so when I think about me, I know this is what I went through, this is what I needed, this is what I did, and so this is the course that I'm presenting. So we have a forgiveness course, we have an Aging Gracefully course, we have a Tantra course, and we have the re-remembering, retraining, and rewriting narratives. So all of those courses are coming in January. It starts with um, Aging Gracefully, and then the Tantra is in February, and the forgiveness. I can't remember right now, but know that they're there. Um, you have to subscribe to my channel. In My Mother's Womb, sacredmedicines.com, and I'll put the link on the comments or in the description or whatever it is for this video. And so you have to subscribe. It's a little thing. It's going to ask you for your email, and it's going to ask you for I think it's just your email, your name and your email, and that's it. So I have that. Also, I'm also going to have a pamphlet for individuals, just a morning love pamphlet. It tends to, well, an ebook. You can tell I'm old school, right? A pamphlet. Anyway, it's an ebook, and it deals with, it's a loving yourself through the mindset of how you eat. So, it's kind of like a little journal with pages and inspiration and affirmations and things like that. And you can use it and put it on your refrigerator. It's like I want to, it's really an ebook because I want to say it maybe has about 12, 17 pages. And so you can fill it out every day. You can do it online, or you can print it out, you can write it, or print it out and give it to someone who you think needs it. As well as I have other course materials that I have in the course. I will have on my channel meditations and yoga movements and all sorts of good stuff. I want my channel to be a community, a coming home, you know, as women and as we age. We want some coming home to knowledge so we can start loving ourselves better and so that we could, you know, start learning. how to be soft and kind to us, and not always out there doing something for someone else, how to come home. So um, that's about it. That's about it. Again, this is every Wednesday, Soul Talk every Wednesday, and I'm going to post it um, in a couple of places since I may have done it wrong. So I'm going to post it in a couple of places, and I'll also post my email address. So do that, and I'll speak with you soon, okay? Ashe, ashe, ashe. Connect with me, subscribe, and look at my courses. You're going to love them. You're going to love me. Yeah. Peace, love, and light, everyone. Ashe.